today, the reason you're receiving this VMail is it's an opportunity for me to kind of clarify and explain some of the language that you've been hearing over the last month. So you begin hearing us actually reword our mission statement to lead common people to uncommon life in Jesus. And I wanted to explain to you kind of the decision making and the way that we arrived at that. We all know that a lot of times people will go to church for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes they're going because of the personality. In this town, you know, we're full of personality-driven churches. Sometimes it's for a program. We have people leave the church. Or we're not doing this program anymore, well then, you know, we're out of here. Sometimes it's the place itself, stained glass, or it makes them feel a certain way. We don't have architectural envy here, so that's not our issue. Sometimes it's the people. Well, Bob and Sue go there, that's why I go there, or my friends go there. But we all know that the reason that church exists is the purpose, the mission of the church. And at Grace Point, we've always stood for the mission. And so that's why mission is so important. So why would we change ours? Well, good question. We started our statement, our mission statement, years ago, before this idea of kingdom's concept came into being. In Will Mancini's book, he writes about the local predicament. He writes about collective potential. And he writes about apostolic esprit. And so let me explain this to you. Your local predicament is basically where you're located. We're 210. That's our area code. We're the 40 zip code. It's a densely populated, full of apartments, full of singles, full of young marrieds, USAA, medical center, university healthcare system. That's that demographic that we're in. That's our local predicament. And the great thing about that is that demographic is not going to change for the foreseeable future. UTL Science Center is always going to be here for the foreseeable future. USAA, the Med Center, and UTSA, and all of this area is still going to have lots of apartments. It's still going to have lots of medical industry, young people moving in, moving out. So that's our local predicament. The second is our collective potential. So who is Grace Point comprised of? Well, Grace Point has always been, because of our area code, our local predicament, our potential has always been kind of baby blue collars is the word I use. Don't take offense to that. But we don't have a lot of doctors. We have some, but not a lot. Most of our doctors are in med school. We don't have a lot of top-tier boardroom CEOs. Most of our leaders are upper-level management, but they're not necessarily CEOs of USAA. They work as a leader somewhere within the org of USAA. Full of young marrieds, full of people with kids, full of college students and children. And it's doers and decision makers and not just boardroom decision makers. So these people own their own companies and they make decisions, yes, and they're leaders, yes, but they also have to get up and roll up their sleeves. And that's kind of comprised our potential, if you will. The third circle is the apostolic esprit. That's Mancini's word, but we would just say, what's our heartbeat? And around here, we've been passionate about exchange lives and people understanding their identity in Christ. And we've been passionate about being the church rather than just going to church, partly because we're doers. We're not just decision makers. We're actually getting out there and wanting to do it. And we're a high expectation culture. You know this as a leader, that you didn't just get tapped on the shoulder to lead, that there was a process that you went through and some requirements that you needed to meet. And we hear this all the time from people outside of Grace Point. This is a high expectation culture. And so when you mix all these things together, what it does is it screams, look, common people to uncommon life in Jesus. And so that's why we decided, let's drill down and really articulate our mission statement. And it gives us an opportunity to roll it out again and once again put the purpose and mission of God's church, God's kingdom to the forefront. And so what we are saying now is to lead common people to uncommon life in Jesus. You're not going to have a hard time remembering that. That's going to flow off your lips a lot easier than the old purpose statement that you memorized. This mission statement to lead common people to uncommon life in Jesus will be something that's very easy for you to grab hold of because it represents who we are. And so when you see church uncommon, you're going to see it, on a letterhead, or you'll see it on a poster. what that means is leading common people to uncommon life in Jesus. Thank you for your time. Think about some of the concepts that I've thrown out. As you begin to hear it, as you begin hearing people talk about it, step into those conversations and begin to explain why we are drilling down. We're not changing anything. We are who we are. But what we're doing is we're better articulating who we are by saying that we exist to lead common people into an uncommon life in Jesus. So thanks for letting me send this. Thanks for taking the time to watch. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. We'll see you next time.